they didn't know nothing of the things that we know today. Like, think about that. So it literally has been a sounding of an alarm. He's waking his people up. And then this ain't just in America. Like, this is four corners of the earth. We getting woke up. All praises. It's letting us know that, times is drawing. It's getting real. Psalm 33:1, it says, rejoice in Yahuwah, O you righteous, for praise is comely for the upright. Praise Yahuwah with harp. Sing unto him with the psaltery and with an instrument of 10 strings. Sing unto him a new song. Play skillfully with a loud noise. This is the teruah. See, I put in his hand. He know all about that. All praises. For the word of Yahuwah is right, and all his works are done in truth. He loves righteousness and judgment. The earth is full of the goodness of Yahuwah. By the word of Yahuwah were the heavens made, and all the hosts of them by the breath of his mouth. So, what does this have anything to do with the building of his kingdom, right? Because we're going to see that there's a pattern that takes place in the scriptures that kind of lets us know that there's a common theme going on, right? 2 Chronicles 5:1. It says, and all the work that Solomon, now we talking about King Solomon now, all the work that Solomon had done for the house of Yahuwah was completed. So this is when they got done building the temple. And Solomon brought in the set-apart items of his father David, the silver and the gold and all the utensils, and he put them in the treasuries of the house of Elohim. And Solomon assembled the elders of Israel and all the heads of the tribes, the chiefs, or the chief fathers of the children of Israel, in Jerusalem to bring up the Ark of the Covenant of Yahuwah from the city of David, which is in Zion. Now, what rested on the top of the Ark? What rested above the Ark, right? Like the Ark. So yeah, we got the cherubim, the cherubim on the top of the ark, and then it said basically like the spirit or the Shekinah, the glory of Yahuwah came and rested upon the ark, right? It's like he was sitting on top of this throne, right? Just keep that in mind. It says, and all the men of Israel assembled to the king at the festival, which was in the, when? In the 7th new moon or the 7th month. So, when is trumpets? Okay, first day of the 7th month. All right, all praises. I'm just wanting to make sure that we tracking because we're going to see a pattern. All right. So it says, and all the elders came, and the Levites took up the ark, and they brought up the ark, the tent of appointment, and all the set-apart utensils that were in the tent, and the Levite priests brought them up. And King Solomon and all the congregation of Israel who were assembled to him before the ark were slaughtering so many sheep and cattle that could not be counted or numbered. So, again, just notice that Solomon finished the temple in the 7th month. All right. That's when the Feast of Trumpets is. That's what kicks it off. So, yep. Technically, depending on what calendar you're on. So, yeah, March is like the first month, and then, well, yeah, late March, early April, depending on the calendar, right? Because again, that's but. From that spring is the beginning of the year, and here we are now. We in 7th month area. All of the calendars, for the most part, they close enough to where everybody can agree that this season, at least, is we in that season. You know what I mean? So, trumpets, 7th month, first day, right? Okay, so, all praises. I'm back. So, Solomon, this is all taking place with the temple, 7th month. Y'all tell me if this is just a coincidence. Ezra chapter 1. Now, Solomon built the first temple. What happened to that first temple? It got destroyed, right? So we know Babylonians came in, tore that place up, right? When they did that, what happened to us? Got scattered, right? Went into exile, right? A lot of years went by in captivity. Then you get to the book of Ezra, and now in the days of Ezra and Nehemiah, they're about to come out of the captivity and go back to rebuild the temple. Okay, so they leaving the captivity and then going back into their homeland. So Ezra chapter 1, it says, and in the first year of Cyrus, king of Persia, that the word of Yahuwah by the mouth of Jeremiah might be accomplished, Yahuwah stirred up the spirit of Cyrus, king of Persia, to proclaim throughout all his reign, and also in writing, saying, thus said Cyrus, king of Persia, Yahuwah Elohim of the heavens has given me all the kingdoms of the earth, and he has commanded me to build him a house in Jerusalem, which is in Judah. Who is among you of all his people? So, sound like an invitation getting sent out, right? Inviting, hey, who is willing to go back? If y'all willing to go back, and I'm going to make a way for y'all to go and rebuild this temple in your homeland. His Elohim be with him, and let him go up to Jerusalem, which is in Judah, and build the house of Yahuwah Elohim of Israel. He is Elohim, which is in Jerusalem. And whoever is left from all the places where he sojourns, let the men of his place help him with silver and gold and with goods and livestock, besides the voluntary offerings for the house of Elohim, which is in Jerusalem. And the heads of the fathers' houses of Yehuda and Benjamin, and the priests and the Levites, with all those whose spirits Elohim has served, rose up to go up and build the house of Yahuwah, which is in Jerusalem. So what are they going to go do? They're going to go rebuild that same place, right? And all those round about them strengthen their hands with objects of silver and gold, with goods and livestock, and with valuables, besides all that was voluntarily offered. And these are the sons of the province who, this is Ezra chapter 2, starting at verse 1. And these are the sons of the province who came back from the captivity of the exiles, whom Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, had exiled to Babylon, and who returned to Jerusalem and Yehuda, each to his own city, who came with Zerubbabel, Yeshua, Nehemiah, Sariah, Relaiah, Mordecai, Bilshan, Mispar, Bigwai, Rehum, Baana, the number of the men of the people of Israel. So why am I going here? I'm going here just to show a parallel. Solomon builds up the temple. This is in the 7th month. Feast of Trumpets is in 7th month. Fall feast season starts with the 7th month. Let's just get that out the way. Jumping to Ezra 3 and 1. Now, when the 7th new month came, when is it? So y'all think this is just happenstance or coincidence? Or is it happening for a reason? Now, when the 7th new moon or new month came, and the children of Israel were in the cities, the people gathered as one man to Jerusalem. They're having this appointed time. They're gathering all in one place on one accord. And Yeshua, the son of Jozadak, and his brothers, the priest, and Zerubbabel, the son of Shealtiel, and his brothers, arose and built the slaughter place or the altar of the Elohim of Israel to offer ascendant offerings on it, as it were written in the law of Moses, the man of Elohim. So they set the altar on its stands, being afraid of the peoples of the lands, and they offered ascendant offerings on it to Yahuwah, both the morning and evening ascendant offerings. And they performed the festival of Sukkot, as it is written, in the daily ascendant offerings by number, according to the right ruler for each day. And afterward, the continual ascendant offering, and those for new moons or new months, and for all the appointed times of Yahuwah were set apart. Also, for everyone who volunteered a voluntary offering to Yahuwah, from the first day of the seventh new month, that's trumpets, they began to offer ascendant offerings to Yahuwah, but the foundation of the Hekal, or the temple of Yahuwah, had not been laid. And they gave silver to the stonemasons and the carpenters, and food and drink and oil to the people of Sidon and Sor, to bring cedar logs from Lebanon to the sea of Yaffo, according to the permission which they had from Cyrus, the king of Persia. All right, so the parallel. They came back, and when they came back into the land and rebuilt the temple again, it was when? Same time, in the seventh month. So something about this seventh month is connected to building up the temple. Okay, so just, again, keep that in mind. And then, mind you, it said that they did it all the way until Sukkot, which is the last feast of the year. Go ahead, Akoti.
I know we're hearing the pattern of the number 7. I don't know if it's come up yet with the meaning of it. And the Most High, He has certain numbers that has meaning, and 7 is one of His numbers. I don't know if that's come up, but it's supposed to be mean for completion and perfection. So just want to point that out.
All praises. So, all praises. It's a pattern here, right? It's a symbolic meaning of why this is happening in the seventh month, right? Ezra 3 and 8, it says, and in the second new moon, or second new month of the second year of their coming to the house of Elohim to Jerusalem, Zerubbabel, son of Shealtiel, and Yeshua, son of Jozadak, and the rest of their brothers, the priests and the Levites, and all those who had come out of the captivity to Jerusalem began, and they appointed the Levites from 20 years old and above to oversee the work of the house of Yahuwah. And Yeshua stood up, his sons and his brothers, Kadmiel with his sons, and the sons of Yehuda together to oversee those working on the house of Elohim, the sons of Henadad, with their sons and their brothers, the Levites. And when the builders laid the foundation of the temple, or the Hekal of Yahuwah, they appointed the priests in their robes with trumpets, and the Levites, the sons of Asaph, with cymbals to praise Yahuwah after the order of David, the king of Israel. And they responded by praising and giving thanks to Yahuwah, for He is good, for His loving commitment towards Israel is forever. And all the people shouted with a great shout when they praised Yahuwah, because the foundation of the house of Yahuwah was laid. And many of the priests and Levites and heads of the fathers' houses, old men who had seen the first house, wept with a loud voice. That loud voice is teruah, when the foundation of this house was laid before their eyes, and many shouted aloud for joy. And the people could not distinguish the noise of the shout, the teruah of joy, from the noise of weeping of the people, for the people shouted with a loud shout, or teruah, and the sound was heard far away. So what I want us to see is what this day is about. This day is also about, to put it in layman's terms, the Father having a place to set His name. That's what the temple's purpose was. It's a place where He could set His name, a place where His presence could dwell, right? Now, we done seen this happen twice with a temple that was built with man's hands. Is it possible that maybe now He's trying to build the temple in us? Right? So again, you see how this awakening blast and all these things are all tied and connected together, and He's trying to show us these patterns of these things, like, hey, yo, get ready, because, hey, from trumpets on to Sukkot to tabernacles, it ain't much time. And when that time comes, hey, I'm ready to drop down in your midst, and I'm ready to dwell in your midst. Make yourself ready. Right? Don't let the oil go out of your lamps now. Right? Like, it's time to get the wicks out. It's time to trim them. Make sure that we prepared, that we ready. Go ahead, Aqua T.
It just reminded me because a lot of people wait till the feast days to think, oh, the feast day's here, and let me straighten up, let me get my act together. No, we supposed to have our act together. Like you said, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready, because the trumpet can blow outside of the feast days. We don't know. He said it'll be a day that no man knows, that we won't expect. So, yeah, I mean, of course, for the feast days, have it together, but it's not just for the feast days. It's 365, 24/7.
Kind, all praises. All praises. So with this, I'm going to leave with this. Matthew 24 and verse 3. It says, "And he sat on the Mount of Olives and taught, and the disciples or the taught ones came to him separately, saying, Say to us, when shall this be, and what is the sign of your coming at the end of the age?" So I'm going to jump down to verse 29. It says, "And immediately after the distress of those days, the sun shall be darkened, and the moon shall not give its light, and the stars shall fall from the Shamaim, or the heavens, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. And then the sign of the son of Adam shall appear in the Shamaim, and then all the tribes of the earth shall mourn, and they shall see the son of Adam coming on the clouds of heaven with power and much esteem. And he shall send his messengers with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his chosen ones from the four winds, from one end of the heavens to the other." All right, so again, something about this awakening blast and something about this shout of this trumpet might have something to do with us being gathered back up. So just, again, keep all that in mind. With us being gathered back up, right? So just like I said, reasons for these seasons, reasons for these cycles when we go through them, it's high time for us to start getting ready, waking up, getting the crust out of our eyes and listening to the sound of the shofar as it's getting louder and louder, right? And that's another thing, like, there is a thing about those shofars, like, even when the Father was on that mount, like, what did it do? It kept getting louder and louder and louder and louder, all the way up to the point where the people was like, we can't handle this anymore. So it might not be that loud yet. That's debatable. Some might say, hey, it's as loud as it's going to get, and hey, I'm not going to argue. All I'm saying is just keep in mind that if you're hearing the sound of the trumpets, it's high time to wake up, and it's time to start making preparation, because as we'll see over the next few weeks when we start looking at how all of this unfolds, next thing is atonement, which is like, so it's time for you to afflict your soul. Whatever has not been done, and whatever loose ends need to be tied up, get those tied up, right? And then after you do that and you've been covered, now you can go into tabernacles. So go ahead, sis.
And I was wondering, have you heard this, that because he says the last trump, that means there's multiple trumps before that the angels are sounding. So I've heard over the last several years, I don't know, because I research a lot when it comes to stuff like this. I love Bible prophecy. So I've heard, there's news clips on social media of people have called into the news media hearing these loud trumpet sounds, and all, they can't even begin to pinpoint where the noise they're coming from. And they sound just like, trumpets. Some are real low, some are real high, regular sound of a trumpet. And, I'm not going to even say nothing. But, yeah, they've been sounding. They've been sounding. And I think for the Jewish people, quote unquote, they said it's 100 blow trumpet. I don't know. Have you heard of that?
100 blow trumpet? No, I don't know what you.
They blow 100 blows, and I guess
okay.
they're going to be this one last one for the last Trump. I don't know.
Yeah, you know that. Like I said, I
We
mean, we'll
don't.
see. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't know
Yeah.
which number of how many is going to be blown before the last Trump, but they've been sounding, so that lets us know too how close we are, because we don't know. I mean, everybody's not hearing them, and that's the thing. That's the tragic thing, because if you're not in a predicament spiritually to hear that trumpet, you're going to be stuck on stupid. I mean, for lack of a better word, you want to hear the trumpet, and only those who are ready are going to hear it. Not everybody's going to hear it. So that's why he says the dead in Christ, because only the dead in Christ are going to hear the trumpet. Everybody that's dead ain't in Christ that's going to rise. So it's deep. And there has been biblical signs. To Elder over here earlier who's mentioned some of the Bible prophecies, like the Euphrates, it's almost pretty much dried up, and some of the seals have been broken. You just have to be in tune with the word and what it says and what's going on in the times. That's why I was saying that there's things that are happening in the spiritual realm that if you're not in tune with it, you're not going to think things aren't happening biblically, like he said in his word would happen. They're happening. That's why I said there's nothing else that really needs to happen. Mark of the Beast, been here. I mean, it's so much. You just have to be in tune to it.
Yeah. What I will say
Walking
is that
in the spirit.
yeah. What I will say is that there is a exponential factor to it. So there is a birth pain factor to it, right? Where birth pain factor. Where part of it is, okay, you're going to go through this cycle, because we know that they understood time to operate in cycles. So you're going to go through this cycle, but every time you go through this cycle, it's going to get increasingly worse, increasingly worse, increasingly worse. And I think that's what if nothing else, that's what we can see and identify. You know what I mean? Like, it's fair to say that they were seeing, quote unquote, the spirit of the anti-Mashiach, if you will. They wrote about that thousands of years ago. You know what I mean? Like he said, no, it's coming, but then it's now. Like, it's present in the world even now. You know what I mean? So, like, there is an incremental, like, uptake of birth pain. You know what I mean? Birth pain. And each time you go through the cycle, it gets worse and worse and worse and worse, until eventually, the thing that was rearing its head is going to come, So, yeah. But, yeah, with that being said, hopefully the gist of at least what I was trying to express about Feast of Trumpets and its importance, it's a day of remembrance. It's a day of us being mindful of really waking up and preparing ourselves, making ourselves ready for that day of the Most High. Like, the goal has been since the top of the year for us to make ourselves ready to be able to tabernacle with the Most High. You know what I mean? Like, when we really think back on what that represents and why he tells us to do it, he wants us to go back and remember how it was when we was in the wilderness and how we tabernacled in those tents around the presence of the Most High. Like, he was in our midst, right there in our face. Like, right there, we saw the pillar of fire. We saw the cloud of smoke every day. And he's saying, hey, no, remember this and everything that I did for you in that time period. And don't drop the ball this time, because the reason why y'all was doing all of this in the wilderness was so that I could get you to the promised land where I could fulfill the covenant. I could be your Elohim and you could be my people. And we could set up this righteous kingdom. We dropped the ball. You know what I mean? So that's the reason why he's saying, hey, like, y'all need to remember this. Go back to this every year. I don't care how much, you get away come back to this. Remember this day. Remember this wilderness. How comfortable you get in the land. No, go back to this wilderness and remember this day, because that's the part that he wants us to know. Is like, no, there is coming a point in time where I want to be in your midst. And not just as a temporary thing. Like, no, I want to make my stay, my dwelling amongst you, where you will be my people. So, yeah, Trumpets is just another step to that process. We wake up. Now we coming back to, the knowledge of who we are in these days. That's another one of those layers of that puzzle that wasn't seen before. And there's still parts of the puzzle. I can speak for me personally, right? That I'm looking at it like, man, so how are you gonna do that, Father? Like, how you gonna do that? How you gonna pull that one off? But I know he's gonna do it. You know what I mean? I might not know how he's gonna do it, but I know he's gonna do it. Because everything that he said up to this point that I can see, it's been falling. It's been lining up. So, yeah, it's a really important season. Because, mind you, I told you earlier, we had barley harvest. These are all centered around like the actual agricultural harvest of the land. And 3 times out of the year, all of the males had to go before the presence of the Most High, and they couldn't come empty-handed. They had to bring their offerings from the increase that the land produced. So first you had the barley harvest, then you had the wheat harvest, and now we had the fruits harvest. So it might be a certain kind of fruit that the Father is looking for out of us come time of tabernacles. So just, again, keep that all in mind. But that's for lesson on another day. So yeah, with that, I'm told me and I'm done.
Hallelujah. I thank Yah for the message, Feast of Trumpets, the importance of it. When you hear the sound, and the sound's going to come different from everybody. What woke you up to the truth? What woke you up to the truth? What woke you up? And you're waking up to this truth. But it's not time to hit the snooze button. It's not time to, I have time because, well, this still has to be taking place, and needs to be fulfilled, because this next second is not promised to us to get it right. And when I say it's a serious thing, it is a serious thing when we talk about being right with the Most High. Not even with dealing with a feast day, it's any day. People lose their lives senselessly every day. Tomorrow's not promised. So when we get to this feast and things happen during these feast days that are powerful. I mean, he's talking about Ezra and Nehemiah and how the people wept because of what? Why did they weep? Because they heard what? What did they hear? They heard the commandments being read. How some of us have woken up to this truth, and some grieved, some was angry. I've been doing this all my life, and now I found out that I've been lied to. Some woke up grieving like, Father, forgive me because I did not know. But when you hear the sound, no matter what it sounds like to you, wake up. Hold on to it. This is not a light matter. This season is not a light matter. Look, I'm already asking the Father in this season, hey, I need you to tabernacle with me. In this season, I need you to do something, because as I'm trying to look at my own timeline, I'm like, it's always dealing with the feast. So let's just, if we going back to the beginning of this year, what were we doing? Get the leavening out. Get the leavening out. We go into this season. Sound the trumpet. I got to get prepared. We had 7 months to get ourselves ready for the wedding. Are we prepared for the wedding? Or do we have to say, you know what, next year? Man, maybe next year I get it together. But let's be prepared. And I thank Yahuwah for even just giving us this cycle of feast days to keep us in line. I mean, because he knows his people. As soon as unleavened bread is over with, the first thing we're doing is, let me get some bread in my body. The same thing, like, let me get some sin in my body. I'm about to go right back. And it's a cycle. But I think, and he gives us, first fruits. Let us be that ones that he's going to pick, that we have that righteous fruit in us, that he's like, well done, my good and faithful servant. So I thank y'all. I thank y'all for the on-time message, because we're in this season. With that being said, once again, Toda Ak for just being a willing vessel, a mouthpiece to continue to strengthen the people, continue to educate. Jessica, I hope you probably like, what? Young to what? But I pray that you understand that and it's not even to understand, it's a great thing to be sitting here today because you heard the sound. Something woke you up. Like you say, hey, I might be still going here on Sundays, but you could be just going here on Sundays. But something woke you up. Not no more. All praise, hallelujah. And that's the thing, when you hear it, you're not hitting the snooze, but let me walk in this. All praises. With that being said, on tomorrow, segueing into announcements, we'll be going to, those that can, we'll be going to Cincinnati to Israel Now. Elder Woods. We'll be going to Cincinnati, Israel Now. They'll be going to have a Feast of Trumpets gathering, meet and greet around 4:30, just to bring in the feast. They have a dress code, but after I talked to Yash, she was like, man, I really don't have white. He said, I got a white T-shirt. And because he's like, I'm really not like that. But, it kind of a symbol of, as Ak brought out in one of our texts, because anybody know me, I'm like so, I don't like putting burdens on people. This is my mindset of, hey, I grew up, Feast of Unleavened Bread, Passover, and the vocal point was, have your white, have your white, have your white. And I knew as I grew older, I'm just like, this is a challenge, because people literally be depressed because they couldn't find white. Or they go to Passover and they look at their kids like, oh my God, my kids don't have white on, everybody else's kid. And it's an unnecessary burden. But after I talked to Yash, I was like, yeah. And I told y'all last week I had a white T-shirt. See, what happened was, I was at Culver's last Sunday, and a nice gentleman was walking with ketchup cups, and he dropped it, and I never knew ketchup could travel, but it traveled on my white T-shirt. So I can go and say these are the blood stains of Yahusha. Or I'm going to have to wear something else. But, I tried to shout, everything, but it didn't come out. So I said, okay. Was it meant for me to wear a white T-shirt then? No. Yes. Oh, sure.
I've been battling a lot of emotions a lot of feelings this week, and it started Sunday. I went to church, and I went in there feeling pretty good, you know. And my son, when my son been battling a lot, you know, he's getting to the age where feeling himself. And our mama like, you need to get it together. And it's a lot. So I saw my son feeling good about himself. You know, he wanted to pray. So I'm praying with my son because nobody but the Most High know exactly what, I'm getting emotional, I'm sorry. Okay. So nobody but the Most High know exactly what we're going through. And I tell people only know what I tell them, but he knows everything that is going on. So I've never prayed as much as I prayed before in my life. And so I've seen my son want to pray. I'm seeing him want to change. So I'm like, okay, let me go pray with my son. So I put my arms around my son, and I had my daughter in front of me, and I'm just praying, and I'm just really speaking. I'm really just tears. And I feel like these taps on my shoulder. So I'm like, so I look back like, what you tapping me for, you know? And I wasn't done praying, and you just interrupted me. So I look, and she's like, you can't pray on this side. And I look at her, and it's other women. My son said there was 2 other women on that same side I was praying on. So I was like, I said, I can't pray on this side. Why can't I pray with my child? So I'm questioning her, asking her, why can't I pray with my child? Is that in the scripture saying I can't pray with my child? So I'm not angry, but I most definitely felt the way. So she could tell on my face and my body, and it's just like, I want to cry. I want to break down in front of in front of the church. And I just like, I breathed. I got my kids, and I walked out. I text Ebony. She didn't answer. I said, oh, I need somebody. I was really freaking out. I was really just going through the motions. I was like, I need somebody. Had Brother Eugene number. Call him. He was the next to call. I called him. And I thank you. And I thank him. I don't know where he's at in here, but I thank him because that call helped me. It just helped me just to calm down, and he just let me know that was your confirmation. And he said, did you walk out yet? I said, yeah. And I walked out, and I was just like, Elijah was still in the church, and I said, go get Elijah. And she following me, just following me. I hope I didn't offend you. I hope I didn't offend you. I said, no, I'm fine. I wasn't fine, but I wasn't fine, but I was fine, if it makes sense. So then I ended up telling Ebony, and it just really broke me because I'm just like, it woke me at the same time, and it broke me at the same time. And it was a feeling I couldn't really describe, but only thing I knew was I was feeling something. And just to talk with Brother Eugene just really kind of was like, this is it. This is it right here. This is what you've been asking for. This is what you've been searching for. And when I got home, I went to my room. I let my kids I ain't let my kids see me bothered, but I went, let them do what they were doing in the house, watching TV, and I went in my room and I cried. I just broke down because it was just like, it wasn't sadness. It was a relief cry. And I cried until I couldn't stop crying no more. I can pray, I can say nothing, just cry. And that's what I did. I cried. I cried for any feeling I was feeling. I cried for any emotion I was feeling. I just cried. And when I got done crying, I wiped my eyes. All right, y'all, let me make dinner for y'all. Let's make dinner. And, you know, they didn't know nothing. They didn't know none of it. And like I told Ebony, and I broke down to her and told her that what happened. And she was like, so how are you feeling? I said, I feel amazing. I feel good. I feel like something is working. And, you know, I've been feeling it. And just not just that. You know, I'm sitting on my couch doing something I shouldn't have been doing. And it's like something say, you shouldn't even be doing that. And I stopped in the mid of it. And I sat up and I'm looking like, who is in here talking to me? Like, what is going on? And I'm sitting here, I'm confused. I'm just scared at this point. I'm like, okay. I'm looking around for a moment because I'm confused. So I'm like, I'm confused, scared, a bunch of emotions at the same time. So I'm sitting up and I said, yeah, I'm having a conversation with myself at this point. I don't know if I was talking to the Most High, I was having a conversation with myself. But I'm like, yeah, I shouldn't have been doing this. Why am I doing this? I said, yeah, I'm finna stop. Stop that day. Stop that day. Yeah.
There's certain things that put a smile on my face. But when people wake up and the Father starts dealing with you one-on-one, and it's like, it's new because you're now having a relationship with the Father. Too many times we read in the scriptures, you know, I mean, was it 1 John, they say they know him, but don't even know how to keep his commandments. They don't know him. But when you start having a personal relationship, he's going to talk to you personally. And he's going to talk to you to those very things. Hey, I'm cleaning you up. I need you to be the next bride. I need you coming to the wedding feast. But we got to do a quick fix real quick. And it might come even more intense, like I was talking about that cycle, how it becomes more intense. I believe you're strong enough to go through this circuit workout. And the circuit workout is not like I'm going to work out, I'm going to do one rep, one set, I'm going to wait a minute, then I'll get back into it. But a circuit workout is I hit this, and I'm about to go hit this, I'm going to hit this. And you about to go through a circuit where he's going to just continue cleaning you up. And you have the right people around you. Because trust me, Eugene would have been like, what time I get out of service? I'm about to come down and I'm about to grab. You don't want to get out? I'm going to come and help you out. But that's the love, and I hope you have felt this since you've been visiting, like the love that we have for one another. Like literally, we have a love. The children that came today, Emmanuel, Nehemiah, and Brittany, keep them in prayer. I've spoken to others, you know, what they go through at home. And ironically, today, I was standing outside, and a guy was walking down the street, you know me, and he was like, he said something, I couldn't hear him, and me, walk across the street, talk to him, and we're talking, and he's telling me things he's been through and what we go through as a people, and I'm like, yeah, you know, we just talking, shook my hand, and he kept on going. And then he was out standing outside, and it was like, so did you meet somebody today? I was like, oh, was that your dad? Yes. And I was like, I told y'all, no matter what y'all going through, love covers a whole lot. And no matter what the energy that he might have inside of him, but you come to people of light, whatever spirits he's dealing with, it gotta come in. It has to submit. So keep them in prayer because they go through a lot. when I say a lot, we talked outside, and I'm like, because sometimes I told myself, forgive me, because sometimes I want to reach out to them and like, what's your cash app? Because I want to just send you out DoorDash or something. And she was like, well, if we do that and he sees it, he might take it for himself or he might throw it away. And I'm like, okay, there's ways to get around that. But sometimes we don't understand or know what people go through. And House of Refuge, I told him, I said, if y'all come in for 2 minutes, because y'all standing outside the door for a reason, but come in, get some peace. And it's like, well, he's at home now, and he talked about you. I said, you know what? He can talk about me, and guess what happens when next time I see him? How you doing, sir? And he can talk about me again. Guess what I'm going to do? I said, it may take 3, 4, 5, 6 months to break that spirit that's on him, but we built for it. Those that are in tour, I'm not going to be offended by people's actions.
Let me land back on what you're saying, talking about being offended. I was in a situation this morning at a breakfast at my cousin's church, and it was outside, right? And one of the guest speakers, I knew her. I went to school with her, right? But anyway, after the breakfast was over, they was passing the mic around, so, I kind of took the opportunity, right, while I was there, to introduce myself to everybody that was there, let them know I was a Hebrew Israelite, and to show and discuss with them about our faith and who we are. So, even after that, there was a couple of people came up and asked me a few questions. Now, granted, there was 3 pastors there that didn't say a word to me, which I expected, but I tried to sound the trumpet while I was there with them, and lay some seeds, for the Father to take care of. And actually, when I left there and I came in here today, they said, how you feeling? I feel great. I feel great today, because I didn't only accomplish something for myself, I tried to accomplish something for him also, and I took the opportunity, to share, some truth with some people that, that are lost. So when he says sounding the trumpet, it's not always a trumpet that you have to sound. It's just sharing certain things about the Father with others, and that's the sound of a trumpet to some people, to open up their eyes and their hearts,
Something that's loud besides a trumpet or a loud sound? Turn on the light. Man, turn that light off. It's too bright. Light will wake you up. So if you come with shalom, you didn't go in there, like you said, hey, they had the breakfast meat. You didn't go in there saying, what y'all got this pork down here? And no, you don't understand where you're at. But you represent the Most High, and everything you're going to do it in decency, and you're going to do it in order. But with that being said, tomorrow, those that want to go to Israel now, this will be my second gathering. But as far as a feast day, going to it. Say what? Oh, it's in I'll resend it, but if you need it, right now it is going to be 8066 Hamilton Avenue, Cincinnati, Ohio. And they're going to start the meet and greet around 4:30. So 8066 Hamilton Avenue, Cincinnati, Ohio. And all praises if Akaline and Eugene would be there tomorrow. They'd be speaking, giving a word So I'm excited just to experience. This is not Eugene's first, second, third, fourth, and I don't know how many, but y'all have traveled. So I'm excited. I was telling Yash, I said, man, I'm just excited to do this because I'm an introvert, so I'll be sitting back there with Braxton if I can get Braxton to go with me. But yeah, all praises. Yes. If you can, yes. Yes. He was like, man, whatever make you comfortable. I said, Yash, he's a good guy. So, this week we'll be trying to get a new Cash App. Y'all's willing, we'll be able to get a new Cash App. If someone wants to volunteer to kind of, I don't want to deal with it, but if it's something that you want to talk about after service, please come to me. But those who do want to give today, House of Refuge, you'll see the name Erica Brown. Yeah, I'm just glad to see you all. I was grateful that I was able to come earlier today. I got a nap. Yeah, 2 jobs. It was Thursday, and I'm like, man, I cannot wait until the Shabbat. So I pray Yahuwah that He gives everybody the strength to make it through another day. He takes us through the next day. Next day, we make it through the week. So be encouraged. You stay encouraged. Fellas, y'all keep your mom lifted up and do your chores. Make things light on her. We have food downstairs. Good seeing you, twin. With that being said, I'm turning the hands back to you, Ak.
All praises. Well, we done and the sun's still out? All praises. All praises. Hearts and minds clear. Father, we give you thanks, honor, and esteem for bringing us together this day. Opening our eyes and opening our ears to the sound of your trumpet. Your alarm has been crying out to the earth and to your people, bringing us back to you. We're here this day, Father, because we're responding. We hear the sound of the call. I ask, Father, that you would continue to barak us as we go throughout this week. Don't let us fall asleep at the wheel, Father. Keep us awake, alert, watchful in this season, because we know that the times of your coming, it draws near. While we don't know the day or the hour, we pray and we just want to make ourselves ready so that we can be ready, so that we ain't got to get ready when that time comes. Pray, Father, that you would continue to be attentive to our needs. Continue to look over us, protect us, provide for us. Continue to have your steadfast love, your compassion, your mercy upon us and all of your people as we continue to wake up. We just give you so much thanks, honor, and esteem for just being who you are, putting up with us for all these years, all these generations, still setting this cycle in place and letting us know that you haven't forgotten. So we give you all thanks, honor, and esteem in the name of Mashiach, Yahusha. Say, Hallel to you, Yahuwah, so be it.